Thank you. My first guest tonight has starred in some of the biggest films of all time, including Jurassic Park and Independence Day. He can now be seen co-starring in the new movie The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Please welcome Jeff Goldblum. I tell you what, I have always wanted, my whole life, I've wanted to have the guest come out. We almost did it there, and we start dancing, and then we dance for the entire hour. There's no interview, there's no jokes. It's just a freak out.
Sweet.
Wouldn't that be great?
Let's go.
That would be some bad television. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's my favorite place on earth to be.
That's crazy. That's insane.
It's true.
Have you ever been to a 4-star restaurant?
This is the best place on earth.
Thank you. That's nice.
This is the best time I've ever had in my life.
This is incredible. This is amazing.
Especially in this enchanted time of year.
Isn't this?
Oh, yeah.
Look at these ornaments, aren't they? I mean, on TV they may not look like much, but in person you can tell that they're spun gold. Spun gold.
Spectacular.
Gorgeous, and you're always in such a good mood. Now, talk about your personal life, your ethnicity, or your life, your religious beliefs. You are Jewish. You were raised in a Jewish family, so I'm guessing... Very nice. Very nice. My people. But so I'm guessing no Christmas tree for you as a child.
No, you'd guess wrong. You'd guess wrong there. Here's what we did. In fact, we were the only, my dad was a doctor, and we served the non-Jewish neighborhood. We grew up in Pittsburgh, mostly Hungarian and Polish and Slovak, steel workers, kids, and
Yes.
I was the only Jewish fellow in my school, other than my sister, and in our neighborhood, in fact.
Right.
What we had at Christmas, we kind of did both. We were, I went to Hebrew school, and I was, in fact, an Orthodox place where I went. But then at home, we were kind of split. At home at Christmas, we had Hanukkah.
Right.
But then we mostly had Christmas, but in the basement.
You in the basement, you were secretive about celebrating Christmas. You went down to the... What did you have in the basement?
It wasn't secretive, exactly. They didn't say, don't bring anybody down here, you mustn't show anybody this.
Right.
We'd bring our friends down to play ping pong. But it was in the basement. We didn't have any lights like everybody else did, displaying, hey, we're celebrating Christmas, or anything in the window of the living room.
Right.
Nor did we have a menorah in the window of the living room. But in the basement, we had the most elaborate Christmas display and altar and decoration that I'd seen in any of my friends' houses. We went out. I remember we went through a whole, ritual of getting the tree and decorating it very elaborately, and had lots of presents from Santa Claus, supposedly.
Oh, you even
which I bought. Yes,
you believed in Santa Claus.
Yeah, we had trains, those Lionel trains that were great.
Why was all this happening in the basement? This is the strangest thing I've ever heard.
It was a little bit undercover. But yes, I believed in Santa Claus. I was just remembering recently that I believed in it, and I was kind of enchanted by it, because I remember the day, I vaguely remember the day when we were in the breakfast room. We were talking about my sister, my younger sister, 2 years younger, with my 2 older brothers, and my mom. Gee, do you think this is the year to break it to her that there's no Santa? And I said, what do you mean? They said, well, you know that there's no Santa. And I said, wow. I think I was crushed in a way. And then I said, but really? And they said, Jeff doesn't know. I said, gee, then does that mean, okay, really? And so you just got the presents and you wrapped the presents and stuff?
Right.
Holy cat. And I said, does that mean the Easter Bunny? No Easter Bunny? And the Tooth Fairy? Because I guess I had believed, look, I got a tooth, and
Nobody believes in the Tooth Fairy. I mean, people buy Santa, and the rabbit's a little like there's a 9-foot rabbit that's going to break into our house and throw eggs around. But I don't, even when I was like 3, I was like, there's no Bing Tooth Fairy, la la la. I didn't know.
I was a boy of special imagination, I suppose. I needed my myth. And I was telling somebody I was dreaming in a half sleep last night because I knew I was going to talk to you. I thought, it's true that I may not have the Santa Claus myth, but if somebody would have told somebody before television or airplanes had been invented, that I was going to fly over the clouds once or twice a year and see a tall, red-headed man in New York City, and we would have a conversation full of laughs and beverages, and there'd be a machine to send it at the same time all over the country, and people, if you could listen, would be laughing all over the country, and it would be very fun, and then you'd fly back over the clouds.
Right.
That's equally as powerful and delightful a myth.
Wow.
And I believe in it wholeheartedly. It's really true.
This show should replace Christmas, I really believe. I may sound a little diluted there, but I do think that I should be the new basis for the Christian religion.
Yes,
but
Master.
We'll talk later about that.
Yes, Master.
You are, you're into the holidays, you enjoy them, but you're against receiving gifts. You don't like receiving gifts. Why?
Well, I'm not I'm against it. I'm not a big consumer, and in my house, I'm a minimalist. If I'm not wearing clothes, I give them away. I don't like to have stuff around, and I don't go out. I don't shop much. I don't like the latest thing, and I'm kind of I have an allergy to commercials much and being sold stuff. People call you at your house now, and they sell you stuff, and on your fax machine, I hate all that stuff. See, don't get me started.
Yeah, what a wonderful, joyous mood you have at the holidays. Maybe you should go back into the basement and.
Yes, I'm a very split and dark character. So if somebody gives me something, there's not a lot that I really want.
Right.
And if I get it, I'm like, well, now I have to put it somewhere and store it someplace. So I'm like, well, thank you, but it's really not a delightful thing to me. And if I can talk sense into any adult person, I go, please don't
give you anything.
Don't give
right.
anything. No,
you know what I don't like is the pressure of having to act like this was the greatest thing you ever got. There's this expectation when you're hand me this right now, and you have to just be like,
Conan, for you, please, I got it. Did you really?
I
know exactly what you mean. It's kind of horrible.
Right,
it's kind of horrible.
Now, let me ask you about your sporting life. Yes. You went to Giant Stadium, I'm told, the other day, but you rooted loudly for the Steelers at the game. Was your life in danger? Were you threatened at any point? You're a big Steelers fan, but
I'm a big Steelers fan. I'm from Pittsburgh, so I went to Giant Stadium and saw them beat the Giants. But I haven't been to a regular season game ever we used to go to the season tickets for the Steelers. I used to go when I was a kid. And then I have gone to a couple of Super Bowls, which is kind of like a ridiculous kind of event and kind of a wild American extravaganza and stuff. But I've never been to a regular season event, and never since I was a kid, and never as a visiting fan.
Right.
So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't research it. I didn't ask anybody. But I thought, is this going to be... There's fighting about. There's, how visible should I be? And then I was a little ashamed as I saw hordes of people with Steeler, shirts and stuff going in because I was wearing nothing.
Right. You were naked.
No, I wasn't naked, but I was warm, but I wasn't wearing anything. But then as the game went on, I realized what could take place. I was very happy, very excited. It was like a great party. I had a great time, and bonding with my Steeler cohorts, even reaching over some Giant fans and going, "Yeah, man, look what we did." But I was also.
You're going, yeah, man, look what we did.
Yes. And the Giants fans were going, congratulations.
Right.
But I was also making sure that I bonded with many of the Giant fans too, and going because they recognized me too, and I was making pals all around. I was going, oh, good play when they did something, and good for you. I was good. Isn't
it possible, Jeff, that could come across as sarcasm?
Good play. I didn't do it like that.
Oh, really good. And then you get pounded. That's what's going to happen.
It wound up okay.
We have a clip here, and we should mention Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. This is a movie that you've done, Bill Murray, Wes Anderson film, and people love Wes Anderson's work, and you are the rival to Bill Murray in this movie.
Well, in a way, you saw it. So thank you so much for doing that. I'll bet it's up your alley. I'll bet it's a delightful. It's one of my favorite movies. I think he's a genius.
Well, he's one of my favorite filmmakers, and in this movie, I guess it's fair to say that Bill Murray is kind of like an undersea explorer, but you're his rich, sort of more successful rival.
He sees me as a rival. He's not. It's competition to me. I'm the best in the business, and I'm doing great. And he's down on his luck these days, so he's a little, threatened by me, and kind of can be prickly and nasty around me a little bit. And I'm kind of. you know,
a little condescending,
amused a little bit.
Yeah.
But fine, because we've had a long relationship. I used to be married to his wife, Angelica Houston, wonderful character, and she and I are still soulmates and very close, and they're kind of on the outs. And so he's kind of, you know, we have a big history. But as you know, in the movie, we have this moment of forgiveness and spiritual epiphany with a big fish at the end, and it's the spirit of Christmas if there ever was one.
I don't know if I'd say that, but there is, yes, a nice coming together at the end. Yeah. Let's take a look at this clip from The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Your engine blew up and all your fuel's been stolen, is that correct?
Uh-huh.
I can tow you as...
Uh-huh.
I can tow you...
This is more than the budget of my whole project.
That was, I love how nonplussed you are by it all.
I know, I'm very... Largesse.
I just watched, I was on cable right now, Igby Goes Down. And I have to say, every time I watch a movie you're in, the eye goes to Goldblum. I always, whenever you're on camera, the eye goes to Goldblum. The eye goes to Goldblum. I like stopping the show cold and just saying the eye goes to Goldblum.
Nice. Maybe that could be my something or other, or logo, or motto. What is it? Can I take that in
I don't even know
way?
what I'm saying at this point. I think I've lost my mind. But something about your performances, there's something that you bring to the screen. It's magical. The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou is now in theaters in New York and L.A. Watch it because the eye will go to Goldblum. It's opening nationwide Christmas Day. Jeff, thank you so much. Jeff Goldblum. Joy Behar is coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.